The quality of your questions is really the starting point for determining the quality of your answers. And an analogy here that I think is really nice is I think about the trajectory of a rocket ship trying to make it to the moon. And I think about if that pilot begins the trajectory even 1 degree to the right, by the time that rocket ship reaches the distance of the moon, it's going to miss the moon by a very long way. So the point where you start and the point of your questions can end up having a very important effect on where you get to at the outcome. And it was a really interesting trigger for me to realize that the cycle and the effort that I had put in to get to that point wasn't necessarily generating the impact that I had hoped. And I was almost stuck in this mediocrity cycle of capture, report, without potentially diving into questions that were really interesting or really useful to that coach. That the question should be actionable. So it should be able to generate information that can actually be acted on directly by athletes and coaches to affect their performance. And there's a bit of a subtlety in the questions that we ask and how we go about asking them here. That's really like the differentiating factor that we'll dig into a little bit later when we get to the methods section. And I think an approach to human-centered innovation that a lot of companies use to create products, create solutions for people, and it really starts with understanding what the problems are, what are the key unmet needs, the key unanswered questions. And the more time that I spent engaging with this process, the more I saw parallels between that role of an analyst defining some of the key questions in order to be able to get to some of the key solutions. So we may have asked a good question of what is it that would improve that athlete's performance, but we haven't drilled down into the questions beneath that we need to address in order to essentially connect all the links in that chain. So we needed to be going deeper and asking, well, why is it that the athlete adopts their current position? What are the things that we need to change in order to get to that ultimate highest impact question for performance?